I'm Jay.
I'm Jacob.
These are our 2021 Iditarod Invitational bike setups. Yeah?
55.8. All right, Jacob, you're up.
I put extra sealant in his to make his a little heavier.
55.4. Who would have thought?
Starting off with the platform, which is the Y Cycles Big Iron Titanium. That's kitted out with a NV fat fork, carbon. In that fork, I have an i9 wheel hub with a head 100mm rim with a 45 North Husker Du tire, 4.8. And this little guy right here, that's called a fatty stripper. That helps seal the bead, keep it tight, and with the head wheels, it's pretty important to have something like this in there for really low pressure. When I say low, like that triple crinkle flat tire, you don't want to break the bead. Oh man, what's this little detail? They call these, I think they're called peanuts, but just a lot easier to manipulate and handle with fingers versus those really small tiny nuts. I believe this is a Problem Solver product.
I'm running a 2019 Salsa Mukluk and the Salsa fork. I got that on a head 100mm platform with a Husker Du 4.8. It's got a really nice tread, floats really well. Jay was kind enough to lend me one of his many wheels. But yeah, just an i9 hub in the rear. The thing I love about these is like, you can hear all that points of engagement, and it just makes on and off the bike starting so much easier, and especially in soft conditions.
Man, they should sponsor this kid.
For real, they should. I mean, that was some detailed info.
Same wheels, same tires, no studs. Depending on who you ask, past participants might tell you need studded tires. We didn't run them in the early years. I think it's really just in certain years that you actually must have them. There are small sections of ice and things like that. I know the route pretty well, and I'm not too worried about not running studded tires. And I prefer a little fatter of the tire as well, so more volume and less weight.
What about this stud right here?
What happened to your front brake, Jacob?
That's extra weight you don't really need, and oftentimes a front brake can fail, and you got extra room in your pogie for gloves and hand warmers.
No front brake. I wonder who thought of that one. Good job, Jacob.
Just thinking outside the box.
If I haven't run one in 11 years, why run one now? So some cockpit things, Shimano shifter, Shimano rear brake. I'm using a swept bar here, as you can see. So 20-degree back sweep, a little bit more comfort on my wrist. Always looking for some hand comfort. There's a bar end here, a Cane Creek rubber bar end. Take note to kind of everything being mounted inbound, and that's to kind of give a little more room for when that pogie's up against here for your hand.
The next day, Jay added a couple layers of Shimano bar tape to his grips and doubled up some hydration hose insulation on his brake lever for added warmth and comfort.
A little bit of navigation, so Garmin eTrex mounted. Got this special custom mount here you can see on top of this K-edge. That custom mount's called zip ties. Works well. Have a tracking device mounted here as well. Pretty simple. Around it is a little light, so quick access. Really easy there. On the front, I like to kind of keep all my accessories there. So you're gonna find stuff like arm warmers, spare hat, wind jacket, spare gloves, just so there's more in here than you think. These are some one-off from Dave Markman mustache bags, actually. I like these little pouches here, are great too for garbage management. Through the years, I've just had a lot of custom stuff made, and there's just certain favorites that I just can't get away from. Oh, yep, it's COVID times. Look at that, a mask. Got a front light here as well, squeezed in there. That's a Phoenix light that works on disposable batteries as well. Hey, Jacob, what do you have on the front of your bike? It kind of looks similar.
I got some comfort right here with some wolf tooth grips and Cane Creek bar ends. So I got the same thing Jay does. I got the Garmin eTrex 30. Just super simple, runs off AA batteries. And then just a simple odometer, just so I know my speed and distance. These are just some Rock Joyce honey pot bags. Instead of throwing in the back here, I just put them on the front because I think it's easier, especially when you're in wiggle conditions, basically, of low pressure and like a lot of snow. You want to have that kind of freed up. I got my Phoenix light mounted. There's not really room on the handlebars, so I just looked up bike fork mount for a light and this came up, and this works out super well. I can just reach my hand in the back and turn it on, and it just casts a nice wide beam.
Wait, that's different than the light that Jay has.
It is.
There's a few things that are different, okay? That leads into this gas tank. A little bigger than your traditional bag, but I could hold a lot of calories in there. So pretty nice. Another 2007 or 8 era bag. Thermometer on the front. I kind of like to know the temperature, and it's more of like the really cold temperatures. Just gazing at this, knowing when it's, you know, you're like, oh, it got a little colder. So yeah, you look down, it's -20, and you're like, okay, confirmed. Maybe I should put a jacket on.
Up here I got a little feed bag, salsa feed bag. I can keep a good bit of calories in there. Stuff that won't freeze because you don't want to break your teeth, as Jay knows.
Easy. Just because I broke a tooth the first time doesn't mean I shouldn't let you.
Exactly.
I actually lost a cap, but bit the cap and broke a tooth and swallowed both. That was an expensive first year. Yeah, and then going into the frame bag space, custom bag from J-Packs, a couple different compartments. It's also gonna have some kind of different sleeves and organization on this side, a synthetic, like a smaller puffy jacket. There's gonna be some tools, tube, repair stuff, just the smaller items and maybe a little heavier items as well. And then underneath that is a thermos, and I have my tie cups in there as well on top of the thermos. Up here is a fuel bottle with a pump. Kind of like to have this little handle here as well. You'd be surprised, but a big heavy bike like this, this really helps a ton, especially in different terrain when you're just throwing your bike around.
Oh shoot, your fly, dude. Sorry, just noticed.
This is actually my spare strap. You should always have a spare strap. There's a lot of bags here to reattach. Don't see it on this side, but over here, just because I think it's a fun item to kind of share that I'm carrying. Saw. It's kind of a luxury item, but it does save your gloves if we do need to build a fire and things. And I am planning on building some fires this year. We'll kind of see how it goes. Oh, and here's another little fun thing, you know, long handled spoon. Hey Jacob, which spoon do you have?
I got the same spoon you do.
What? No way. Oh my gosh, incredible.
So you guys like to spoon?
We might be spooning, because it gets cold.
I have a handle as well right here. As Jay said, just makes moving the bike so much easier, especially in deep snow, and you might like punch through and then you got to get your bike over onto the trail. I have an FBJ custom frame bag, just 2 compartments, kind of my tools on this side, and then my tubes and emergency gear down on the bottom. I have a rain jacket and a light puffy in there, my headlamp. So I got my thermos in here with my tie cup. Bust this out, have some water. Always nice to have a nice warm trail snack. Since Jay and I are riding as a pair, we kind of divvy up the gear. He's carrying a fuel bottle as well, but back here I have the full kind of kitchen area. I got the stove with the pot to boil water. On the other side, I kind of have all my gadgets. These are just a pair of Revelate Panniers. I did modify them a little bit just to drop that like 2 inches or whatever it is, just so it's easier to get to stuff in there and not have to mess with my sleep roll. What are you running for panniers, Jay?
Let's see here. Joe from J-Packs made these panniers for me a while back, and Jacob was pointing out they are mounted lower, so they're not up against the bedroll, which is kind of nice. It's kind of the heavier clothing, if you will. Maybe not things that you're going to be using right away, but still it's easy accessible. You know, Gore-Tex bottoms and top, and spare sock system, which would include liners and the heavy sock. You'll also find my big puffy gloves in there, spare underlayers, top and bottom. I also have a breathing face mask on this side, a set of goggles. They're super hard to pack. Kind of the mini panniers are a really easy way to pack things without just cramming things into corners and the seat bags and stuff. The ease of using a system like this outweighs trying to count grams to try to pack everything really small. I want to make it easy and make it comfortable. And honestly, doing things in the cold is pretty hard, and we all have our issues, and hands are my issues, so I need to keep things pretty quick and easy. And then on the back is just a big old bedroll, 2007. And it's still sticking around. Then, you know, in here is going to be, you know, a sleep pad, a sleeping bag, a bivvy, and actually my big puffy Expedition stuffed right in the end, easy accessible. Volet straps are super easy to use, but they only come in certain sizes, and they don't come big enough to go around the whole thing. So I just tethered 2 of them together. I'm not trying to fight something super small. You know, just to undo a clip like this is really easy. And not just to get your bedroll off, but if I want to sit down, if we're boiling water, I just throw this on the ground and sit on it. I always use the same saddle no matter what I'm doing. Physique Tundra. This is actually a tie seat post as well, which is kind of nice. This little bag here is actually all my batteries. Just more management, trying to ease up my tool space. I don't want to mix all that together. So just another spot to put something. Different rack systems out there. And this is an old man mountain rack. This is actually from my original run in Alaska from 2007. It's still working great. I like to kind of fasten it my own way, so you can see there's only just one strut here. Just really streamlining it. I like to kind of tinker around, play with that stuff. And it's the same thing with the bottom here. It's just one piece of a machined aluminum, making it just kind of clean and simple. Also less hardware. You know, when it comes to spares, those are things that you need to look at, like which bolts do I need to carry and all this. So just simplifying that. And then a safety light. Definitely need a safety light. There's different trail users out there, and we just want to be seen.
So I kind of have the same setup in my sleeper.
Same setup?
The exact same. Well, I have puffy pants in
You did
mine.
a lot of YouTubing, didn't you?
A salsa rack, and then kind of what Jay did, I just took off one of the rods because you don't need it, you know, and that's extra weight.
How'd you pick which rod to pull off?
Well, yeah, I just went the opposite side of the drivetrain to balance it out, you know? And then going into drivetrain, I chose a 28 camo wolf tooth ring. You don't want to be pushing a big gear, especially with a loaded down bike. SRAM 1052 tooth cassette, which
Wait
is
a minute.
so key.
You have 52?
I have 50.
I got Shimano 51. Oh, come on. Like, does this mean I'm gonna have to push more than you?
I'm running an X01 derailleur. I got their twist shifter in my Pogi. Just kind of keeps the hand at ease so you're not having to reach down and touch a cold shifter. And then something Jay didn't point out he also has on his bike is this reflective tape.
Oh, yeah.
I have some here on my fork and then again on the rack back here, just so you're seen from everywhere.
It's an easy way to do it, just fold it back on itself. I'll put a little more on there, and there's some left over on the rear rack. DOT, Department of Transportation safety tape that like tractor trailers need to use. As Jacob said, it lights up as soon as any little light touches it.
For pedals, I'm using some Crank Brothers. This is kind of their multi-option. So you got clips on one side and then you got flats on the other. And I think that's super nice to have, especially if your cleat freezes up. My brake, mechanical brake for the win. It's not gonna fail.
What is it, like a BB7 or BB8 like the Mandalorian, or what do you got going on there?
Yep, just a BB7, super adjustable mechanical brake. What are you running, Jay?
Well, I'm running all Shimano, and I'll end up just putting a 28 ring on here. They have a 51 tooth cassette, which I think is going to be fine. XT kind of Shimano platform pedals. When you can't clip in all the time, at least you have a big platform to put the big boots on.
This is just a stock WTB on a Salsa carbon seat post.
How much do you weigh, Jacob?
I'm 154 pounds currently.
How tall are you?
6'1".
When I started riding with Jacob back in like May, he was 145 pounds.
Dude, you've put on some mass.
Yeah.
Flex?
This isn't fair because now I'm 155 pounds, but only like 5'10". And I think what's next is he's going to be riding away from me.
What size frame do you ride, Jay?
Well,
What size boots do you wear, Jay?
I think that's pretty much a generalization, but with some details involved with the bikes. Jacob's got to get off the math class, and I got to go mail Fat Pursuit sweatshirts. Don't forget, subscribe!
Thanks for watching.
Thanks so much for squeezing dirty teeth into your busy schedule. Please help us reach more people and ensure you receive new videos by giving this video a like, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell. Until next time, ride bikes, give back, pay it forward.